Let me tell you how it will be.
Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know that music. He's here in the house, the one and only TaxManBob, as we affectionately call Bob Loeser, here on the program, and always navigating us through tough issues, telling us what's happening, tell us what you should be aware of right at this very moment. Bob Loeser, how are you, my friend?
Doing great. Great to see you. He's back, and who I mean by he is the Taxman cometh again.
Yes. And where are we in that whole process? Here we are already in, you believe it's already February?
Mm-hmm.
We're halfway through the first quarter.
Don't push it any faster than it should be pushed, because we have a lot to do and little time to do it. Right now, January 31st was deadline for employers to get their W-2s out to their employees and 1099s out to their contract workers, which hopefully they did, since it's the first week in February. The next step, of course, will be to file personal returns, and those were not being accepted until Monday of this week, which was February 3rd. The IRS decided to put sort of a deadline date, saying if you send it to us prior to January 31st, it'll sit in a holding pot until we're ready on February 3rd. So that's the first
interest occurring holding pot.
But yeah, they'll pay you interest if they're interested. No pun intended.
We're not going to give you any of that interest, but thank you very much.
Right. So then the next step, of course, with businesses is corporate returns are to be filed by March 15th, and partnership and trust returns are due by April 15th. So we're actually getting a upper hand on those, since a lot of our clients we work hand in hand with at year end, that they're within an adjustment or two of having their books finished the way we operate. So we've actually, the 4th or 5th, whatever, of February, we've already got about 70 corporate returns out of the way.
Wow, so that's fantastic.
We handle about 300, 350, so we've got about a fifth of them out of the way. But, I mean,
that's good progress, though.
Yeah, it is.
And props to your clients for getting it in early.
Correct. I mean, it's a combination of they working with us and getting it to us in good shape, and we having it in our computer literally ready to go as the year progresses, so that at year end it's a depreciation adjustment, decision on pension plan, decision on bonuses, etc.
Yeah,
we're just 3 or 4 adjustments away from finishing.
Meanwhile, if everyone decided to turn yours in February or March, holy mackerel!
Yeah, we'd go on extension for a lot of them. or as the movie once said, "Show me the money." They would be paying a little bit higher and dearer to their hearts if they wanted it done by the deadline of March 15th.
So out of those 70 plus that you've already worked, how are things looking for them?
I'd say for most of them,
let me rephrase that. Are they pleasantly surprised, or holy crap?
No, a lot of them are pleasantly surprised. In fact, a couple of them, probably out of the 70, 8 to 10 of them, incomes, I won't say drastically higher, but much higher than we anticipated, which means they're short with Uncle Sam for April 15th. And not short enough that there's penalties, but instead of figuring they may owe $1,000, they may owe $5,000 or $6,000. So to them, it's a surprise, but as I've told them, as you just mentioned, it's a pleasant surprise, and a pleasant surprise means they've got the cash to pay the tax.
Yeah, there you go. I always like to have the cash to pay the tax. The only thing I like better than that is not having to pay the cash.
You're right.
I'm weird like that. So what other things? You're watching the news, you're up with what's happening, and you always come here with a thought for the day. What was catching your attention before you came in?
Well, what I thought of certainly interest. It's just funny as we watch the markets develop for 2013 that 2014 we're worried about things like emerging markets, which if you asked most people on the street corner what an emerging market is, 3 or 4 of them would probably slap you in the face thinking you were being crude. So, I mean, emerging markets are determining our market share in the first part of January, February, which is completely a surprise to many, inclusive of the experts.
Right. So, what do you contribute to that? What's your observation on that?
I actually think because the market was up so much last year, 32%, and a lot of people were waiting to see what was around the corner. Now they're anticipating that what's around the corner isn't going to be good, so they're panicking.
Right.
So market goes down 100 in a particular morning, everybody starts selling, and it's like pulling the rug out from under you. Now it drops to 200, 210, 240, 300, 350, all because the ball's rolling down the hill, so to speak.
Not that any of it was based on reality.
Correct. It isn't. It isn't. That
wait a minute. We've been on drugs.
Right. It isn't that a certain company has dropped income or share of revenue or whatever the case may be. Now, in case if you haven't watched, there'll be companies that'll announce earnings better than the anticipated estimates, but projections for the first quarter may be down from 8% to 6%. Instead of the stock going up 10 points, it goes down 8. For no apparent reason, they met expectations and they did as well as anticipated.
Yeah.
All right. So, in effect, what's the point of making estimates if you beat them and the public still doesn't like it?
Right.
Or the experts say, well, that wasn't good enough. Facebook, the Twitters, etc. They have no revenue, and their stocks continue to go up based upon blind faith.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I really have yet to see anyone articulate a reason why you should believe in Facebook or Twitter. Right. Even Twitter's even worse than Facebook, in my opinion.
Right.
Because at least there's space for Facebook to do it.
Correct.
But there's not even that in Twitter.
Right.
There's only 140 characters.
Right. So between that and the other thing that I've taken out this week is I've watched a little bit of the President and Bill O'Reilly interview on Sunday.
I think the president actually won that interview.
So
I thought, in my opinion,
if he would have answered any of the questions, he has probably done the best job of talking out of both sides of his mouth without his mouth moving at any one time. Mm-hmm. It's just thoroughly amazing. Ask, Benghazi. Well, there wasn't a problem in Benghazi. What do you mean there wasn't a problem in Benghazi? There's 4 people dead in Benghazi.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just an accident.
Yeah. Total. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Part of the reason why I say that is that at least Obama has a worldview, even though he calls it moderate,
Right.
And you have to chuckle a little bit. I get the impression Bill O'Reilly believes whatever he believes, and because he believes it, it's therefore right. He's so full of himself, and it doesn't give him very strong legs to stand on when he's actually talking to a real ideologue,
right?
Like Obama.
But the one thing that I just can't determine is, and I saw it maybe 4 or 5 times during the interview, the president thinks that O'Reilly's station determines what is being said.
Right.
And it's not.
No.
It's not.
Do you read any other media?
He says, well, you people at CNN, or Fox, and you're sitting there going, wait a minute. I don't watch Fox every night, and I truly believe that there was something going on in Benghazi. And if that was my father or my brother that was killed in Stevens, I'd not only be jumping up and down, I'd be asking, where's my settlement?
Right.
Okay. You might as well put him on 59 in the middle of the third lane during rush hour and hope that not only he didn't get spun around, that he didn't get run over 4 times.
Right.
Okay, please.
It was unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Final thought.
All right. Well, as we move forward, people need to, for tax purposes, need to start gathering up their information, be prepared. My guess is if you're getting a refund this year, the delays may be longer. All right. If taxes due, of course, it needs to be paid by April 15th, or they'll come a knocking with interest and penalties.
They're funny about that.
Yeah, they are funny about that. All right. And my guess is I'd be more pushed towards, as you file certain things with the government this year and the coming years, file them certified return receipt. Then there's never a question as to when you filed it, if you filed it, particularly if you owe money, all right, or particularly in a lot of cases where you're getting a large refund back. Because they have this tendency, if you don't send it in certified and you were getting $16,000 back, they lose the return and then ask you to refile it. Yeah. And then it's another 6 to 8 weeks before you get your refund.
Government at work. Government at your service. All right. His name is Taxman Bob around here. He's also known as Bob Loeser. Your phone number real quick.
713-953-1272.
One more time.
713-953-1272.
Do what I do also. TaxmanBob at pdq.net. I'm Kevin Price. You're listening to The Price of Business.
Yeah!